them wanted to, just listen in.
Yeah, but I need to come on to talk to Jim if he wants to ask me anything or talk about whatever.
I don't know who told you I wanted you on. I don't even know who the fuck you are. I just know that you've had debates with Tonka and Chikatmir. So I
did not have a debate. I had a screaming match with Tonka that
Jim, it's pronounced Laheim.
I could have won.
Laheim? Oh, sorry.
Laheim.
Oh, yeah.
Did you just say that you won against me? Why do you keep?
No, I said that there was no way that I could have won.
Well, yeah, you could have not been lame.
I guess I do have a question for you, Hardcore. You said you wanted to. The thing that appealed about the liberalist isms was that it was a group of people coming together for principles, but that sounds so vague and milquetoast. Like anybody, I can say I want to come together for principles, guys. It reminds me of feminists saying feminism is a radical notion that women are all equal, so you should all be feminists because we believe in equality. Like you can make up any bland, vague, generic statement and say you should join me because of that. I believe in free speech. Join me. Become a metakurist.
I agree. I 100% agree with you. That's why I'm in favor of. We have a set of principles right now that are kind of vague, in my opinion, and I think that they should be tightened up a lot. But also, I think that it's not really about passing judgment at one another. And I know that sounds hippy dippy or whatever, but the problem is that like with the conservatives are very hard to join, even though they're for personal liberty, because if you have any kind of, past or like porn or whatever, you're going to feel like they're judging you or whatever. And I think that that's because there is more to it than just the principles. There's morality, there's nationality, there's ethnicity, there's all this other stuff that really just should not play into it. Things like people getting censored on YouTube is wrong across the board and should be wrong.
You're just saying you want to be constitutionist libertarian that is race colorblind.
Well, let me ask you this question. Okay, so you have issues with it, but what drew you in the first place? I mean, Sargon started this, so I'd have to imagine
How long did it take?
That you were attracted to this because of Sargon.
So, dude, I was raising hell in the group for a long.
Well, yeah, but you didn't. I mean, you didn't coin the term liberalist. He did. So, what attracted you to this group? Was it just that Sargon's making something?
Well, no. I looked. I think one of the two things that really brought me to the group is it was the first group that said anything about what happened to Dankula. Like
it's not.
But no,
yeah.
My boys were in there rapping for Dankula even when we still hated him.
No, I can't. It's not like the alt-right would let me in, And on top of that, that's
not true. Fuentes is in, and he's fucking Mexican.
Oh, good point. Good point. But also, I think that I like the idea of a group of people who are brought together on principles. And I think that even if the liberalists stop being a thing, I would pursue that concept further than this.
But that's just
well. Let me put it. Let me put it this way then. So you disagree with some of the things, like you said, you're raising hell.
No, I'm raising hell. I'm raising hell because of the fact that I feel like, first of all, I felt like at the beginning that a lot of people. I mean, I made a whole video about this, but I felt like a lot of the people were either A, LARPers, or B, people who wanted to go in and just like to argue. Like, there are people who like to have a good debate. They like to, like Sargon. Sargon's a guy who likes to have a good debate and likes to.
Not when it comes to Mike Enoch.
Well, no, but I don't. Like I said before, I don't think that he can confrontation like that. I don't think he's used to being under pressure.
Well, hardcore. Why not start your own group? That's what I'm getting at. If you believe in this, it'd be great if we had a group that came together on principles and we want to hammer out what those principles are. Why a liberalist? Why not a hardcore?
I asked him that the other night. Go ahead. I asked you that off air. Go ahead and say what you said.
Because of the fact that, first of all, I think that this is a really good start. And y'all see the cringe outside from the inside thing to where it's got a stupid name. And you got a bunch of dorks running around talking about principles and things like that. And then on the inside, I'm seeing people who legitimately want to make the world a better place, who don't want to join some kind of racist fucking Wakanda clan, and who have a personal problem with the way that you know, white people are being treated
All
as
right.
cool because it's just wrong.
Sure.
But how are you going to get people to look at it?
Well,
When
wait.
you
How
just
do
said
you
yourself people
address?
see
No,
it.
no, no, Taka. How do you address what's happening to white people when the fucking founder of your group doesn't even know what white is?
All right,
And
we can get into that. We can get into that, but
No, Jim, that's not true though, because he knows that there's white niggers.
yeah.
Hold on. Let him give it a go.
To give you an example of why that's vague, Joaquim on the other day sit there and said that Madonna, whenever she was doing Material Girl, would be allowed into the ethno state, but whenever she,
Well, yeah, I don't care what the alt-right
No,
says.
but-
I'm asking from a liberalist perspective, if you can't define what is white, how can you come to me and say we're sticking up for white people? You don't even know what the fuck white is. You don't have your own definition.
well,
he said he doesn't care about white genocide.
First of all, I would say that from our perspective, it isn't relevant, but it would more matter.
Well,
Yeah, but you're trying to connect to me by saying shit's happening to white people. If it's not relevant and you can't define it, how does that appeal to me at all? If you come to me with the sales pitch of
It's not about what my definition of what it is. It's about what the people who hate white people's definition of what it is. So anybody who they would sit there and say you're an evil white male who has white privilege and stuff like that, that's probably somebody who is probably feeling a little bit disenfranchised by the whole entire fucking.
well, I'm sure that's going to work out. Letting your enemies define your own terms. How could that go wrong?
How is that letting our enemies define our own terms? Why? All right, let me ask you a question.
You're letting them choose what white is.
Wrong.
They
He's
said
not,
that-
Jim,
they
he's
said
not
that-
white.
Let me ask you a question. If I sit there and I say it's wrong, but I say it's not wrong, it has nothing to do with race. It's just wrong. What if it's just wrong? What if it's just wrong for black people to discriminate against white people, and it's wrong for white people to discriminate against black people? It's wrong for brown people to discriminate.
Yeah, but hardcore. I have to go back to your initial sales pitch when you were listing what you said just a minute ago. You didn't say it's wrong that there's discrimination. You said, when they're going after white people.
But once again, it's wrong to discriminate. It's wrong to discriminate in general. It's not wrong to discriminate against white people versus black people. It's wrong to discriminate against everybody.
Why, when there's statistical averages that indicate that behavior are different among groups?
All right, first of all, once again, you go back to the idea that you're sitting here pretending that any certain cultural thing is based off of one variable,
Even if it's not one variable, even if it's culture, even if it's culture, you should be able to discriminate,
Well,
because
hang on,
statistically,
if
between these groups.
if you're discriminating based on somebody's merit as a deal,
Judge the group, not the individual.
you should not be able to discriminate against something that somebody cannot change. That's
Okay, well, hang on. Let me ask you a question then. Can I discriminate against somebody because they're like a transgender or a furry? Because in their mind, they can't change that. That's just who they are.
Maybe
no one
not
can't change if they're a murderer. You can still discriminate and throw them in jail.
being a furry. The transgender thing, is it hurting you in some sort of way?
Yes. I am currently being very
He's getting
negatively
triggered
impacted in my
mentally,
life by a transgender
And
individual.
he wants to start the Fourth Reich.
If you
Hardcore, you can't change if you're like an insane person, but you should still discriminate and like put them in fucking where they're not going to hurt someone if they're like legitimately going to do that.
Let him go. He's getting dogpiled.
the thing about the transgender thing is I could honestly see, if you know enough about it, why you would not want to do that. But it would have to be based off of something more than they didn't dress the way you wanted to.
So
now,
what if
let me ask you a follow-up dress code, and they didn't want to wear the dress code, then you would have a reason to discriminate against them. But if you're sitting here saying you're a transgender person, you cannot work here because I know you're transgender, and they didn't break any of your rules whatsoever, that's fucking wrong.
Even if it's an educated guess.
Let me follow up on this. So what if transgender individuals constituted 13% of the population, but they committed over half of the murders? Would I be wrong to assume that if I were around a transgender individual, I might be more likely to be attacked?
See, that's such a weird fucking thing to say. They're killing themselves.
No, he was using the black crime statistic to make a joke.
They're killing themselves. It's fucking sad.
That's not something
That's not what it's
Something that you get fucking discriminated against them for. You should feel bad for them.
That's not even what he was fucking talking about.
Okay, I feel bad. No, I feel bad for him. But what obligation do I have to put myself at risk by not discriminating? You discriminate every day. When you go to somewhere, you make a fucking value decision. Do I go to this store or that store? You're discriminating. You are making a decision based on what you know. You're making the best decision you can, and maybe it's not based on exact science. Maybe somebody didn't do a fucking study, but that doesn't mean you don't make a value judgment and say, hey, maybe I'm less likely to get raped and murdered there.
Yeah, if you're saying that. That's such a ridiculous statement. All right, let me ask you a question, okay?
It's a ridiculous statement.
Well, if it's ridiculous, say why it's ridiculous.
No, I'm going to say this because it's literally like he only has a problem with statistics that, first of all, only apply like if you're talking about all the murders that are committed, black people are killing a lot of black people. Okay,
that doesn't make it better. That just means that they're more likely to commit murder.
If you're sitting here and you're talking about, okay, I don't want to sell a house or a car or a dog or something to somebody because of the color of their skin. How is it that you think that their statistics is a reasonable reason to
hardcore? If you don't discriminate against this group that has a statistical problem, if you don't implement some policy in society that affects them on the group level, how in the fuck are they ever going to change their behavior? Just through like norms and memes? That's never going to happen.
I actually think that's the best way, because if you sit there and you think about what I was talking about earlier about the cultural shift after the Spike Lee movies came out in the 90s about the Crips and the Bloods and all that other stuff, all of a sudden across the entire fucking culture, there were
black people stopped killing each other?
No, they started killing each other more because they had groups to join. All of a sudden, you had fucking Crips and Bloods in the middle of like Ohio and things like that, places where you would never see them before. And if you sit there and you talk about, okay, what is the problem in the black community that is most prevalent? It's the constant need to feel like you're a victim. Even the educated ones don't go back to the fucking ghetto. They sit there and they move out of the ghetto, and then they sit there and make excuses for the ones that are in the ghetto.
I just don't know that I can sit here and listen to you say all this really racist stuff, man. I mean, that's awful what you just said about blacks.
I mean, I'm sorry you feel that way, but it's one of those things that you sit here and you say, okay, what do we need to do that will change this? Stop doing that. And I know you were joking. I know you were joking.
I just want them going away.
I know you were joking, but that's the reason why things don't get better. Is because every single time that you sit there and you try to do anything to help this situation, you have an entire group of people who we are all against all the time, the SJWs, who literally will make you lose your job, will make you lose your professorhood or whatever, and will ruin your life because you're trying to help people. And that's why things don't get better. It has nothing to do with the color of somebody's
skin. Okay, but see, here's where I fundamentally disagree with you. If you could quit the echo, that'd be great. I don't care about their group, right? Because I have my own group. I have an identity just like everyone has an identity. So I worry about people who are more similar to me and share my identity, because what affects them is most likely to affect me. Mm-hmm. I do not care about their community. I don't think that I need to worry about changing the culture. I just want to find a solution where I don't have to be exposed to it. Sierra Leone's a fucking shithole. My solution is not to fix the violence in Sierra Leone. My solution is to build a big fucking border, or perhaps put an ocean between me and Sierra Leone, and do the best that I can to never fucking go there. That's all I want. I don't cruise around the hood because it just happened not to go there. No, I don't go there because I know that the people there are more likely to hurt me. It's basic fucking shit. Like, you make that the same decision too. I'm pretty sure you don't spend all day driving around fucking the worst neighborhoods of Dallas, do you? You know, you don't just go shop. Yeah. No, you decide not to go there too for very fucking similar reasons.
I respect that, dude. And honestly, I've been thinking about like the stuff that you've been saying over and over again. And dude, you just need to move to like the country, and then you would never have this problem ever again. But the thing is that
there too, man.
I have is that I don't have a problem with you wanting a wall. I don't have a problem with you wanting to protect your family. I don't have a problem with you associating with who you want to. I don't have a problem with you not wanting to participate in some kind of financial transaction with somebody. But I do have a problem with your need to stand in the way of people who want to help. And that's all I'm saying.
So that's what the liberalists are about, is about helping black people.
Dude, I cannot sit here and say this enough. look at the principles. They're about promulgating those principles across an international.
Wait, can I ask you something? When you say stand in the way of people wanting to help people, are you trying to imply that making fun of liberalistism is standing in the way of you accomplishing shit?
No, I would actually. This is a much longer conversation, and it goes back to more like the fact that, and I don't want to do the conspiracy theory thing or whatever because he's already admitted it.
Power through it. Power through it. You got it in you.
Lots and lots of alt-right inside the group. We have lots and lots of alt-right inside of every single group. Fucking always trying to derail any conversation.
You've been infiltrated.
Make every single conversation about the Jewish question. Make every single conversation about, just ridiculousness. And the only problem I have is that I don't understand why it is, if we're so benign and we're so impotent and we're so just ridiculous, why it is that the alt-right tries so hard to shut us down. Like,
I can answer your question. I can answer your question. You're the retards on the internet right now, and people have fun fucking with you. That's the simple, straightforward answer. Whether it's the alt-right or Cow or 4chan or anybody else, they like fucking mocking you and making fun of you. That's what it is.
But once again, I don't have a problem with mocking, but there's also standing in the way. And mocking is one thing, standing in the way is another thing. You can
Hardcore. There's a fundamental issue with the whole liberalism thing, and that is it is constitutional libertarianism, something that has been around for thousands of years and already has like established parties and names and other things.
But I've said numerous times,
wrapping it up,
an American-based thing. It really isn't. I mean, in my opinion, my personal thing is that we mostly have most of this stuff. It's not really about.
Wait, why are you a part of it then? If it's a European thing and you're American, why are you even a part of this?
Predominantly European thing, but the thing is that it's not going to ever be a thing if it doesn't become.
Well, didn't you say that your big issue is free speech in the UK? That's your big issue.
That's the first big issue. Yeah, that's the big group.
So instead of like
the big issue to bring the group together or whatever.
So you want to fight for European rights? Okay.
Why don't you just start a free speech campaign in the UK and then go down your list? Why call it the Liberalist?
Because that's the name that everybody likes right now.
No, just go to the UK, start a group that's like pro free speech, and then like push that shit, and then get it done. Why are you like?
I don't understand.
Hardcore. Didn't you say yourself the name was cringy?
I agree 1000%. I hate the name more than anything. This is the only problem that I have with changing the name is that the name change would probably split the group. It really would.
Oh, because you have such a solid identity right now after 2 weeks of existing.
You know what you're doing here. You all have different definitions.
I 100% know where the group is right now. It's not.
Oh, you do.
It's not like one of those things to where.
Well, tell us, Prince Hardcore, the Navigator. Where are you guys at?
Formation. That's it.
All right. So are you going to make a new group and call it Hardcore Istism?
No. That's not what's going to happen at all.
The Hardcore Sargonists.
That's what my point is that if I did that, then inherently there would be some kind of like group split. Even if it was a tiny group split, it would still be a group split.
Yeah, but Hardcore, isn't this the third time there's been a group split? I mean, I'm going off of Sargon here, but from rationalist to skeptic community to now liberalist.
I don't think the skeptic community was ever like this kind of thing. I don't know about the.
Didn't Sargon do a video where he defined what being a skeptic meant and all of that shit on his channel?
Even when it harmful opinions for making videos at other people in said community.
Yeah, I've always thought that the skeptic thing was like a name that everybody else. I thought that was an atheist thing. I thought that the skeptic community was people who were like TJ, who started off.
I don't. You can see why it's weird to me, right? You can see why it's weird to me, right? That an American would be fighting for European rights in a group made by a guy that has vague definitions of what their principles are, and who thinks that people mocking or trolling them is standing in the way of them accomplishing something.
I see. That last part is not true. I don't think. But I just said a minute ago, I don't care if you mock or troll. I have a problem with people who are literally going out of their way to.
Well, that's what trolling is. Yeah. They're fucking with you.
No. There's a huge difference between like, I don't know. It's weird to me if you're sitting here and you're sending. Here's the difference. if you're sitting there and you're sending V's mom porn because
That wasn't us. That wasn't us. Don't put that evil on me, Ricky Bobby. That wasn't us. That was the Nazbel gang.
That was probably Cal or whatever.
Yeah,
listen. I'm not saying it wasn't y'all. I'm not saying it was y'all. I'm making a point. I'm saying if you're doing it because you just want to fuck with V, that's one thing. But if you're doing it because you have a problem with the liberalist or whatever, that's just stupid.
It's okay to do it if you're fucking with an individual, but don't you dare do anything to our.
But all your ideas are different per individual.
No point in doing that. It doesn't make any sense. I mean,
it's trolling, man. What do you mean it doesn't make any sense?
It's not a person. That's what I'm saying. It's not a thing.
Hardcore, I just want you to think, because this reaction you're having to it now, this is exactly why people do that. Yeah, that's why you did it.
I have no problem with it. I just don't understand it, honestly.
It is morally correct to troll an individual. It is morally wrong to discriminate and troll a group.
No, I'm not saying anything's morally wrong. I don't understand it. Dude, you can do whatever the fuck you want to do. This is once again, y'all
so if society is trolling your group out of existence, who cares at that point?
It's weird to me that it's like this like wishful thinking type thing that y'all constantly do. Man, we're gonna just troll your group out of existence. It's like,
what do you mean? That's already happening.
We're watching it right now. It's great.
In the same breath,
you said earlier it was happening.
There's no point in it even existing. You said
Hardcore. Let me ask you. Wait. Hardcore. Let me ask you a straight up question. Okay. Yeah. If this is them standing in the way of you, if this trolling is standing in the way of you,
standing in the way of anybody, I just think it's
okay. Let me ask you this though: if getting trolled throws you off your game this much, how the fuck are you going to stand up against a government that wants to censor you if you can't handle autists on the internet from 8chan?
I don't think that it's a problem. I think that most of the people see this is the problem with you guys is that most of the group doesn't even acknowledge y'all exist. I'm one of these people who think that
your founding members acknowledge it. Sargon acknowledges it. V acknowledges it. The people that are the fucking figureheads of your group acknowledge they're getting trolled and spurg out about it quite regularly.
Yeah, because they don't understand why y'all are doing it.
But you said you didn't understand either.
No, wait, stop the car. Listen to the last two lines you just said.
They don't understand why you're doing it.
All right, the line before that.
What was that?
Okay, the first thing you said, most of them don't even know you guys exist. The second thing was after Jim pointed out,
we're talking about 3 people.
Oh God, let me finish it. After Jim points out that the fucking figureheads, they're flipping the fuck out about it. He said, well, yeah, because they don't get it.
No, they don't get why you're doing it. See, this is the thing about it.
That means they don't get it. It's trolling. I don't even get the internet, and I get that.
No, I get the point is to upset you or whatever. I just don't think. All right, so let me ask you a question. Right? If you're trolling somebody who's advocating for free speech, doesn't that mean that you're not advocating for free speech?
No, we're trolling people who advocate for free speech in the most cringy, dumb, fucking vague way possible.
Trolling has nothing to do with free speech.
So once again, I go back to the question. You're mad at our method. We're trying
because you're fucking dumb.
Hardcore. Nobody's mad at anything. They're just trolling you because you guys flip the fuck out, and they're going to keep doing it every time you flip the fuck out.
You're trolling the people who don't really have anything to do with the group about a group that I agree has a cringe. But for the most part, they just talk.
You just told me that your group is infiltrated by all these people that keep bringing up the JQ. Obviously, it's having an effect.
That's actually what Joaquin told me.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is it seems like people know how to fuck with you guys, and it seems like fairly consistently they get a reaction.
No, it's just one of those things to where we sit there and we have a group, right? And we sit there and we'll have a post. And then inevitably somebody sits there and starts talking about Jews for some reason.
Wait, you said it was just something I told you, but now you're arguing that it actually is true. I mean, if it's just something I told you, if it was just a troll.
That's because I couldn't verify whether or not somebody was an alt-right spy.
So it really could be that there's just a lot of people in the Liberalists who are just really hard on the Jews.
Yeah, maybe there's maybe. Hey, dude, I absolutely right. There could be just a really huge JQ problem in the Liberalists.
Hold on. Can I give you a real question here? Because this is what's bothered me about you from the jump. And I've asked you before and you got around it, but I want to know. You've said it yourself. There's a problem with the identity. You've said it yourself. There's a problem with the direction. You've said it yourself. There's all these fucking problems. What the fuck? What made you think, hey, I see this fucking train coming down the tracks and it's on fire, and it looks like that conductor doesn't have a head on, but I'm gonna hop on the train. This seems like a good plan. What made you jump?
I'll save the fucking train.
You want to be a hero? That's what it is. You want to be the one that snatches it up and runs with the fucking torch.
No, I once again I go back to the idea that I really think that the idea of people were brought together for really good principles, something that we can agree.
Principles.
So his answer to the train question is because it's a very pretty train.
Yes, it's
those are my principles on that train.
Beautiful train. I love the train. I want to save the fucking train.
Hey, I love trains too. They're great.
Good time.
I honestly, the weird thing about it is that this is something that if you can get the right cause behind it, will work. It's just right now, it's so hard.
What does that mean? The right cause behind your fucking affiliation?
No. The right cause, like the right. All right. So here's a good example.
Whenever they figure out their ideals, they're going to be great.
Why didn't you do that before you got a cringy fucking name? It's like you printed the fucking jerseys for a sports team and forgot whether it's baseball, basketball, or football.
You know nobody had a choice in that fucking name. Tonkin, you know nobody had that choice in that name.
You need to tell Sargon to just like take a year and figure this shit out and like.
Wait, no, Hardcore, you had a choice in that name. Your choice was to walk away and pick a different group that didn't sound fucking retarded.
You could have joined us. You always had that choice.
Constitutionalists you could have joined. Had
Libertarians, constitutionalists, every kind of fucking political.
They already have political parties in the U.S.
So they're not addressing the problem in a lot of British places.
Well, join those parties and start like gathering online to make these movements in the Europe.
No, but I really think not having. All right, I know we always harp on one particular thing, and it just kind of makes this ridiculous.
Whoa, who's this? We're just a collective of individuals.
But I really think that the fact that Canada doesn't have free speech, because the weird thing about Canada is like you can't even use the wrong gender pronoun without getting a fine. That's fucking wrong.
Whiskey seems to do just fine.
Why don't you work on North America before you become a European activist in a group you don't even know what they're doing?
This applies to them too. All of this stuff applies to all of these people.
Like if Canada has such hard hate speech laws, how come?
Actually,
Jaworski hasn't had his door kicked in by the mountain.
Hardcore, are you saying that you want this group to be globalist in nature?
It's international.
They're internationalists.
Right? It's international. Yeah.
Oh no,
international group.
Maybe the reason that there's somebody harping on the Jewish question is
Let me ask you a question. Let's say, I know y'all don't believe this, whatever thing. Let's say we had 1 million people. We were all together on the same thing, right? And these 1 million people were just normal people who, had influence in one way or another. And we all joined together for just one cause, whatever it is. That's 1 million people plus all the normies. They can sit there and
Hardcore. Look at Coney 2020 or 2012. They didn't accomplish shit, did they? And they had millions of people.
They had good principles. They had ideas.
Fucking shadiness to him.
Hey, no, they all got together and held hands and said how terrible it was, and they wished
they were
the world
very
was better.
principled people.
Very, very principled. Nothing happened. Except the guy went crazy and ran down the street naked, throwing money in the air.
It was that, yeah.
I'm pretty sure he was jerking off in public.
It was that. It was a bad show. Hardcore.
Hardcore. How is this not
Coney was a bad show. Coney was a bad show.
But that's the thing is people left. Like when people were like, okay, this guy just got caught jacking off on a playground. We're going to leave and turn off the lights and pretend this all didn't happen.
Yeah, everybody went back 3 months on their Facebook profiles and unshared it.
When Sargon had to go take care of his wife's dinosaur and Dr. Nick Monroe admits to being a furry and a vor fetishist, do you think that maybe that's a similar point? Hey, we should just kind of go back to square one and try over.
First of all, I have never understood what the problem is. Like, all right, so let me ask you a question. If a girl gets pregnant a white girl gets pregnant from some dude who lied to her in high school, like one of those stereotypical things. Is she just like damaged goods from then on and nobody should ever touch her in life and she should just be shot?
I'm not going to tell people what to do in that regards. I'm not going to
tell you what to do. Don't fuck around with single fucking moms. That's what I'll fucking tell you.
Well, I agree with you on that, but what I'm saying is that
Wouldn't that be a single mom then?
I don't.
You agree with us, so what? Ask you.
I don't understand what the inherent. Well, because I know that you always have kid issues and stuff like that. But if you fall in love with her, I don't understand why.
If you feel so strongly
Then you're
about it, why aren't
pathetic
you
and
dating a
cringy,
single
and then
mom?
you deserve that fate.
I want to know. I'm asking because he always says stuff like that, and I wanted to hear his perspective.
What? So you're saying
I
should
never
date a
heard
single
Jotham say that.
That the whole perspective of the Sargon thing isn't the whole perspective. Like I'm not entirely sure. Is it because his wife has a dude with another or a kid with another?
Wait, what are we talking about here?
No,
I
she
thought
plays a video game where they raise dinosaurs. Okay? The dinosaur video game, he had to go take care of his wife's dinosaur in the video game.
Oh, okay, I got you. It's on a video game. I thought you were talking about it.
Your fucking leader's gonna boot your ass.
Yeah, you're goner,
I
man.
thought you were talking
weren't
about
up
it.
to date. You weren't up to date.
No, all right, wait. Let me explain to you why I thought that.
Wait,
there was
babe.
a whole entire thing on the internet where I thought that they doxed him to where they were saying that they found out who his kid was and it was half black or something like that. And that's what I thought y'all were. I thought you were just being really fucking racist and calling his kid a dinosaur. So I was like, all right, well, that's
How would you calling a black person a dinosaur be
I don't
racist?
know, man. I don't know. I was
You're
like,
fucking brainlet,
Yeah,
dude.
that's
Come
your
on.
fucking go-to is that it's racist because you can't wrap your dumb ass around it. What is wrong with you, man?
By the way, thank you for that
Wife's
hardcore.
dinosaur.
Now it is. Now
How was I
dinosaur will be a
supposed to know
racist
about
term for
video
black people. Yeah, don't stop in that neighborhood. There's a lot of dinosaurs up
Dinosaurs
there.
is my new favorite racial slur.
When there's a pack of raptors on the other side of the sidewalk, I cross the street.
You're painting Jurassic Park in a fucked up light right now.
So, Hardcore, tell us more about Tyrone the T-Rex. I'm curious about this fucking dinosaur thing we're discussing.
By the way, the chest is filled with El Monstro join Nazbol, El Goblino, El Nazbol.
yeah.
Oh fuck.
Yeah.
Why not? Okay, but you want to be part of a less cringy movement? Why not just become a Nazbol though? For real, they'll let you in. They're not racist.
What is a Nazbol? Y'all say that all the time.
I heard furries are recruiting too. If you want to be a little less.
Fuck that shit. Fuck that shit. That shit's scary to me. I don't fuck with them people, man. You gotta have something wrong with
B said he was a furry.
Yeah, that's weird to me. I really do want to ask him about that. I want to be like, dude, what's the deal?
Have you ever talked to the people who you're following, Buff?
I've
Right? Yeah, like, really? Right?
No. I don't fucking bug people about stuff that people
Okay,
do.
well, we've talked to them. Fuck it, that's the difference. That's why we have the opinion of your movement that we do, and you have this whole other thing. We've
And you
actually
can
talked to
listen
the
to
people who've done it.
You don't
We're
even
talking
know
to
your own movement.
My movement's about V's furry habits.
Yes.
Now it has become these furry habits and Starkin's dinosaur.
This movement has really taken a turn I did not want to go
Hey,
down.
Jeff, easy on the D word, okay?
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Oh man, that's great. From now on, it's racist to say dinosaur.
But okay,
You
but
said it.
you actually thought. But see, that's you asked why we fuck with you.
So
It's
bad.
because shit like that, you guys are so easy to fuck with. It's not like we really go out of our way to. Your fuck with ability. You're just like wearing a sign on your back saying not only kick me, but like fuck my shit.
I'll try to explain it really concisely here because you just did something that we've also seen the leader of the movement do. You didn't understand something.
Mm-hmm.
You did not get something. So what was your go-to?
Ass.
It's racist. It's racist. It's the alt-right something.
No.
Hold on. No, that's what you did. That's what you fucking did.
It wasn't that. It was just me associating something I heard before with that. I didn't really
Find me anywhere on the fucking planet where dinosaurs are goddamn.
like I said, I thought it was just being really fucking mean.
No, you didn't understand it, so that's where your mind went.
You're
Just
your
like when
memes are
Sargon,
years
shut up for a
behind.
second, Hardcore. Just like when fucking Sargon's looking over the chat and says kick V, and he assumes it's some kind of alt-right deplatforming campaign. Same thing. You don't get things. You guys aren't fun. You guys are boring and you're lame and you do this shit and you sit there and you fucking wax philosophical about your fucking navels and then you look around and it's like, why doesn't anyone think that we're intelligent? Why isn't anyone impressed with us? It's because you don't get anything. You don't get anything. You don't even get your movement. You are so blissfully ignorant of everything you do and everything everyone else is doing. I don't even get the internet, and I understand it so much better than you. It makes me sad.
I think that you need to understand that it's supposed to be a real world thing, not a
Oh, that's gonna make it better. That's gonna make it so much better.
It's going to be VidCon, the political movement.
World
All
consequences.
right, so but let me ask you a question. Who sit there and said that, like, if you're trying to fix something, you're supposed to be cool or anything like that? I don't think you sit there and you say, well, we sit here and we wax philosophical and we try to be
Hardcore, let me ask you this. Do you believe that David Hardcore, let me ask you this. Do you believe that David Miscavige having slaves is wrong?
David Miscavige.
David Miscavige is a leader of Scientology, and he puts people into camps basically and treats them like slaves. Do you think
And if
that's
they act
wrong?
funky, he'll throw them on a fucking boat.
Hardcore, do you think keeping people in slavery conditions is wrong?
I think all the stuff that's going on with Scientology is wrong.
Okay, awesome. Why aren't you part of Chinology? Where's your Guy Fawkes mask?
Because first of all, I found out about that because I was doing a thing on cybercrime, but I didn't even know about that kind of stuff.
Oh, it's still going. So why aren't you part of it? Why aren't you part of it?
Is it really still going?
Would it perhaps have to do with the fact that people think it's gay as fuck at this point and cringy as hell?
First of all, I didn't even know the thing was going just like Joaquin, and second of all,
it's pronounced Laheim, racist.
Oh my bad, Laheim Oive. But also, if it was the type of a thing to where we had that group or whatever, and we were working towards the same thing, I don't have a fucking problem with anybody helping.
But why weren't you attracted to it, though? If you knew it was fighting this glorious thing, this principled stance, would it maybe be the PR around it? Would it maybe be the perception that it's fucking gay as shit and nobody wants to be a part of it anymore?
I wouldn't know about that. I mean, that would be one of those things that I guess is
Give us something you know about.
Yeah, give us something you know about.
Criminal justice. He's very intimately familiar with the criminal justice.
You know, Lahiam, you got to really fucking check your guests better. These goddamn dinosaurs, I'm telling you.
Question. This is the thing, is that I have a lot of things that I want to fix. And the problem is that you can't fix things by yourself. And I think that's a lot of why you have this weird...
Oh no, please tell me that you're not okay. You're part of a fucking group that goes on and on and on and on and on about individualists, and now you're saying that you need the group to get shit done.
Yeah.
No, but isn't that the entire point of the group of individualists? Is that the
God damn
it! I don't understand why y'all have such like a basic understanding of the terminology.
We need to educate ourselves. What is this, RSRS? Did I take a time machine back to 2014?
We need to read more Loki.
It's like peeling an onion that just keeps on going and every layer is retarded.
You don't understand why people laugh at you when you bring up the group of individualists. You don't
like every time you say principles, I giggle.
The problem is like if you're sitting there and you're a hardcore individualist, don't you always get stomped out by whatever?
What is the fuck is a hardcore individualist? Like, what does that look like?
I guess somebody who never wants to be around anybody, wants to do everything by themselves.
So a misanthrope? Okay, I'm living in my cave in the country. All right.
Yeah. How would that person get anything fixed or get anything done?
Well, what he tried to do was he tried to mail some bombs to various professors around the country. I think
he wrote a manifesto. Yeah, it's very well written.
Yeah, but it didn't work. He ended up in prison. I'm saying that, you know, if it's one of those things to where you're sitting at home by yourself and you have some kind of thought of you want something to get better, and how do you do that if you don't want to adopt some kind of...
Well, hardcore, how are you going to actualize this? Okay, so you keep saying that we want to get together as a group and change things. Fine. How are you going to actualize it? What are you going to do to actually change anything?
You have to, first of all, you have to get a large enough group together to where you have a voice on a larger scale than just, you know,
What would that threshold be? Just ballpark it. Like, what do you think would be a large enough number?
100, 120 guys.
Yeah, something like that.
You thinking like 1 million, 2 million?
If we had 1 million, we would already be well surpassed of like most.
You don't think there's special interest groups that have more than 1 million in their membership?
Probably, yeah.
Okay, so you got 1 million people. What do you do now? What is it that you're actually doing to change anything?
Well, I think it would be first of all, you would decide within the group what the
group of 1 million people. Okay, they're all individualists, so they need to
and all of their opinion is the same, equal, and it all matters.
No,
I'm just fucking with you. Okay, what do you do? Go ahead.
I guess you would just have programs within the group that.
Dude, please, is this guy fucking with me?
I wish.
I think he's actually
okay. I want to
we
throw
just need
something
money
out
for
there
them programs. Is that what you just fucking told me, man?
Not government programs. I'm talking about how. All right, let me ask you a question. If you're sitting here and you're a let's say the name is still Liberalist and you live in the UK, you would have a UK goal. You would have a UK set of Liberalists. They would be going towards. They would have like people they're supposed to go promote, and they would go out and do the stuff that.
Yeah, but this sounds like it sounds like you're planning a venue and doing PR, but then you have nothing there when the fucking people show up, right? So it's like, oh, we're just going to promote, we're going to spread the word, great, but what does that lead to? What is the actual action that changes something?
Well, I wish I had like an actual example right now, right off the top, like of something I could tell you was something.
So you joined a group that wants to change the world, but you don't even know how they're going to do that because they haven't come to that conclusion yet.
Let alone how they actually want to change the world.
Let's use an example. I don't know enough about. The only reason I'm hesitant to talk is because of the fact that I don't.
You don't know
UK politics, but I want to use this as an example. Is let's say we had a large group of UK members, and that guy Mog, the UK members said, all right, well, this guy agrees that with our principles. He is one of the people who is trying to fight for the things that we want to fight for. Then they would use their support in order to go vote for him.
Now, do you think? No, wait. This is actually really crucial. Do you think that any UK politician is going to touch you? I want you to think back to what happened with Rage After Storm and UKIP. UKIP, which is not necessarily the most liked of UK political parties, where she said something that wasn't even necessarily outright racist in her videos, and they wanted to disassociate with her. And now the head of the Liberalists has clips up on YouTube talking about kikes and white niggers. Do you think any politician's going to say, oh, no, it's okay, guys. He's just being ironic. Bring him into the fucking House of Commons. Do you think any politician would want to associate with that or risk the damage of people running around saying that shit, whether in jest or not?
I think you need to understand, and I've been saying this for a long time, you need to understand the difference between the guy who is the most prominent member and the leader.
The guy that made the group? Yeah, no, I think you need to understand that that's the one calling the shots. If he decides you're out hardcore, no matter how great your principles are, your ass is gone because he is the final word in the group he created.
He's the stepfather.
I mean, at this point, yeah.
Do you think you're going to wrest control away from him of the fucking group?
No, I don't think that I would.
Are you going to whack the stepfather?
Is this a hit? Capo's taking him out?
You're going to wake up with a bee head in your bed.
Hardcore, didn't you say on the last stream you were on that you were like at the top of the Liberalists, that you were in?
Who is tasing?
Oh God, Robotoad.
Who is tasing the toad? He's a good boy.
What happened?
You're gargling some fucking swirly toilet water right now.
Yeah, refresh yourself. You got to F5.
God damn it.
Brock Lesnar button.
Danger. High voltage.
All right. Well, I think that pretty sums it up. Well, I think one of those things that you need to understand is that there is a actual group of people who believes in this, whether you like it or not, whether you think it's cringy, it's a thing. And if it doesn't work, then it doesn't work. If it does work, then I would like to actually see it through and see that that some actual change happens. But it's hard for me to even explain it to y'all without y'all making some kind of weird false equivalence or try to sit there and say that.
What is the false equivalence of the founder of the group is Sargon? Tell me what is factually
he's
incorrect
the
there.
founder of the group, but he's not the leader of the group. That's what I'm saying.
Who is?
Who's the leader?
There's really no leader at this point.
No, the king of the.
Oh
King
no,
of the
you better
individualists is
no.
Baroness Thompson.
That is straight up bullshit. Sargon, when I went into the stream about liberalist isms with him, gave me shit saying, Jim, you ran away from being leader of Gamergate. And then when I brought up liberalism, he said, I'm the leader, Jim. I had the leadership thrust upon me. I don't want to do it. I want to play my dinosaur games, but I am the leader. So no, understand that Sargon calls the shots in your group. He said so on his own fucking stream.
Hold on.
Weird.
Is my mic
I've
better?
had
Yeah, it works now.
a lot of interaction with Sargon and the group and stuff like that since then, and it's not like
White niggers. I think there's a better word than group. I think we should call it something else. It's on the tip of my tongue. Collective, maybe.
I was going to go
Commune,
with Cole.
maybe?
A syndicate.
A commune of individuals.
Jonestown 2.0.
No, the proper term is ball pit. It's a ball
Look,
pit.
Sargon Koresh is not pulling anything with no dinosaurs, guys. Just calm down.
Holy shit! It is the anniversary of that, isn't it?
I heard that he plays that game all the time while he's listening to audiobooks.
So what?
Did he tell you that himself?
That's
He
the
chops
captain of
down
the lifeboat.
leaves in this game while defeat to his wife's dinosaur while listening to I don't fucking know, Locke. I guess he listens to Locke on repeat. That seems to be all he has.
Well, no, it's a lot more than that. He's reading all sorts of stupid.
Please,
I thought you didn't
tell us more. Tell us more about what else.
What's
it
he
is.
reading right now?
I have no
Dr.
clue.
Ruth?
Yeah,
Is there a liberalist reading list that's out there?
there should
Is there?
There
What are
is,
the
isn't
essential
there?
books to read to be a liberalist?
There
besides
fucking
Locke?
is.
What's
There
the
absolutely
essential
I'm gonna make a liberalist reading list. That's what
No,
Is
wait,
mine
there
camp
already
on
is
it?
one. Give it to
there
us.
isn't
Come
one.
on.
There isn't one.
You're a liar. There is one. You know
There
it.
is as far as I know. There could be. Don't hold me to it.
Could be.
I think you should get on that one.
Yeah,
I
I'm
think-
gonna make it. I'm gonna make
He's
it.
not-
Here's the
Saying
liberalist
it's
reading
not.
list: Siege, Mein Kampf, and the Turner Diaries.
Ugh.
But you have to disagree with them. But that's the reading list.
You have to understand the enemy.
Yeah, you gotta know. You gotta know.
We didn't understand it actually because we thought that we were infiltrating y'all, but apparently the whole Reed Siege crowd is just an elaborate psyop by the Sargon people.
Triple fucking inception.
Honestly, a hardcore. You seem like you really want to be in a group. You really want to have a group, and you feel very strongly about your principles. Why not just start your own group? Because you don't know what the score is with this one. It's like you hopped into a KKK meeting trying to battle for free speech. You don't even know what they're doing.
Hey, hardcore. There's a guy in the chat. His name's Stoned Mexican Guy, and he's demanding that I tell you to stop disrespecting his people.
The dinosaurs.
Yeah, the whatever he is.
He's a
I'm
stone
assuming
Mexican
Mexican.
guy. It's
I would
literally
assume
what
he's
it
a
says
stone-
in the link.
I'm assuming, yeah.
Oh, well,
If
this
I had
has
to guess.
been fun, but I got to jump. Thank you, Hardcore, for explaining to me the in-depth and very detailed principle set list of the liberalists.
Is that
And,
cleared up for
goals.
you yet, Jim? Are you?
Oh, no, it's crystal clear.
About
I'm
joining
going to be
now?
marching in the streets tomorrow. Yeah.
Hey Jim, thank you for
remember-
enlightening me on some very weird shit I wish I could forget.
Oh,
Good
yeah,
time.
not a problem. I'm going to go look up that liberalist reading list because I need to know how many Loki books I need to digest before I'm on that level of wokeness. But you guys take it easy.
Make sure you
Have a good
get them
one.
in before